Just think about it. If you decide to stay together...
No, I'm sorry.
I'm not here to tell you what to do.
You're not? You're not here to give me advice?
So what you're saying is you want to move in with her?
From day one, yes.
Oh my God. I am here for John telling, Collins the truth, because Collins has been trying to get away with sort of performing and making, Natalie appear to be the person who's at fault. He hasn't done anything to show that he cares about her. And for him to say, I'm here, I need you to give me advice. And it's like, this is not a training school. You shouldn't be taught how to be in a relationship. You shouldn't be taught how to show affection. Maybe they should help you, sort of modify you with the skills that you have, but not to teach you from ground zero. So for you to be upset with the experts that they're refusing to feed into whatever performance you're trying to give, you need to sit down somewhere. You really need to sit down somewhere. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm surprised. Hey, it is what it is. I digress. Hey there. Thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. Click the like button. Turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. And definitely leave a comment and share. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 11, Episode 9. Ooh, I foresee disaster. Anyway, so today is recommitment ceremony for all the couples, and so we get to see who is deciding to stay and who is deciding to go home. I don't think there's anyone who's likely to say they want to go home. Colins really wants to be here. He doesn't want to go to work, so I don't think he's going to say he wants to go home unless his spouse insists that they go home, or unless they're kicked off the show. Anyway, so you get all the couples getting ready for the recommitment ceremony. You have, Lucinda sort of speaking to Timothy and sort of asking him how he feels, whether he feels his needs are being met. And it's like, Timothy for me is about to self-sabotage. I'm not saying Lucinda is the best person in the world, but I think given the type of needs that he has, she's able to meet his emotional, psychological needs, in the sense that she is a calming force. She is someone who's caring, empathetic, loving. And so I think he could do with that in his life at the moment, given how raw he is from his recent loss. But I don't know whether he'll be able to recognize that. You have Jake sort of speaking to Tori, sort of trying to create a united front. And it's like, I think Tori has a lot of insecurities that she came with into the experiment. And sadly, Jake was able to pick up on them. And this is why he's been able to manipulate her and to say, oh, she's not affected by my ex. She's not upset about that. She's this, that, and the other. I think he's done and said things that have made her sort of feel like she depends on him for everything. And this is why she's just going to get along with him just for the sake of getting along, because she really wants to get married. But I don't think it's a healthy relationship. That's just my opinion. You have Collins and Natalie getting ready for the commitment ceremony. And Collins, for me, I don't know why he's still here. I think they need to send him home. I think he needs a lot of work. I think he needs help with certain aspects of his life. The fact that he's a people pleaser and is very performative, that's not enough for someone to say they want to get married, because I don't know who has the energy to deal with that. And I think Natalie is right to say she wants to speak to the experts, and sort of, I think she's after closure, because she knows this man doesn't really like her that way. So she's hoping the experts are able to help her sort of reach a conclusion on certain things in regards to her connection with Collins, and see how she can find a way forward, which I'm happy for. Anyway, you have the experts sitting down waiting for everyone to come in for the commitment ceremony. I think as someone who's shy in public and really hates public speaking, I get where Tristan is coming from, but I hope I'm not that, over talkative when you're anxious, because the way he started rambling, I was worried. And I was thinking, oh my God, what is everybody else going to think? They're going to think, what has Cassandra been set up for? But I like the fact that they understand each other. I like the fact that they have a lot of respect for one another, in the sense that, when Tristan sort of said that, he told everyone that when I'm anxious, I tend to ramble. And so they all understood immediately, because even his mother at his wedding, when he started rambling, she said, no, he's nervous. So to see him then open up and be honest, because when he had the letter writing challenge, he actually said he promised himself that he would be 100% honest. And so for him to open up to the experts and tell them about how he feels about himself and how he sees himself really tells me that he's there for right reasons. He could have easily just sat there and just kept quiet and said, we're doing amazing. So for him to expose himself like that in front of every single person that's there, I couldn't be more proud of him. And I love that the experts asked Cassandra that, can you describe how you see him? Because he says he hates himself. And her list, she just went down the list. She didn't stop and sort of say, I don't know. No, she kept going and going. And I hope people like Jake take a page out of Cassandra's book, because oh my God, I'm so proud of her. I really am proud of the two of them. And I like that they told him that, you know, whenever you're having these sort of moments where you have self-doubt or self-hate, just remember all the things that Cassandra has listed out that she likes about you. And so it was cute to see, you know, and I'm happy that they put them first, because then they get it out of the way. Because if they had put them last, then he might have been afraid and not said anything. But now they can sit back, relax, and enjoy everybody else, because they have had their turn, and it's so sweet. And you can see that the experts really like them as a couple, which I'm happy for. Next up is Timothy and Lucinda. Timothy and Lucinda, for me, I like Lucinda for Timothy. At first, I was very anxious. I wasn't sure how that would work out, because I thought she was a bit too intense. But I like the fact that she is what Timothy needs at this moment in time, even though he doesn't recognize it. She is what he needs. And I hope, as the experts sort of said to him, that you need to move out of the way or get on board soon. I hope he gets on board, because he will regret his decision to sort of let her go. Yes, he spoke about the fact that, you know, she's very affectionate, she's very touchy-feely, he's not that sort of person. And she sort of said, you know, I am attracted to my husband. I am like a creep. I'm always looking at him and stuff. And so he has someone who is offering him something that everybody else is crying for. Other people are wishing for their partners to really like them romantically, and he has a partner who likes him romantically, but he's choosing to, you know, focus on things that are not necessary. He's choosing to focus on the fact that, oh, I can annoy my partners. Yes, you can, but what are you going to do to change that? Or what are you going to do to stop that? I think is the main question. So I hope he gets on board. I hope he realizes what he has in Lucinda and he makes the necessary changes. Anyway, I digress. So next up is Jack and Tori. And for me, I call BS. I'm sorry. I know I don't like swearing, but that's what I call, because of the fact that Tori has more vim for Timothy when he speaks up than she has for her partner, who's treated her like crap. And for her to sit there and smile when he told her, I'm not attracted to you, you're not my type, doesn't make sense. And for him to say, oh, I appreciate her for how she's been throughout this whole challenge. So you only like her because of the challenge. You don't like her because she's the person you're attracted to. Make that make sense. I don't get it, and I'm not here for that. And so for her to sort of sit there and have this smug look on her face, I am not buying it. I really am not. I don't know why Richard involved himself. I think Richard was sort of saying that Timothy is the one who was saying, you sleep with this girl on the first night and it's not a slow burn, blah 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 blah. We all know that, you know, Jake will say anything and everything to stay in the experiment. He's been asked, you were talking to us while you're still dating someone, is that true? And he's sort of if you say so. What if you say so? That's the truth. Own it and move on. You don't need to sort of stutter and stumble over your words, because that's exactly what you did. You were with this girl and you gave her the impression that it was a long-term relationship until you realized you'd been shortlisted for Mavs. Then you cut her off because you wanted the sort of the celebrity that comes with being on Mavs. That's my opinion. He wanted the benefits that come with being on Mavs. That's why he dropped things off with his girlfriend. So he needs to stop looking smug. They both wrote stay. I'm not really invested. I don't care. And you could see the experts had given up and they've moved on about that situation. Next up is Tim and Sara. What do I think? Tim and Sara. I think they're another couple that should have gone home. Really, I think they should have gone home, because it's pointless to see why they're still on the show, given how they reacted when they sort of exploded after their very first challenge during the honeymoon. As much as Sara was impressed by the fact that Tim sort of speaks Spanish, I think there's more that went wrong with that couple. The fact that she stormed off during the honeymoon and Tim had to sort of follow her and sort of apologize, and how they might have mended bridges, but it's still something is not right with the two of them. And so I don't know whether it's a good idea for them to continue to be on the show and pretend to be going through, the whole process when they're not. Obviously, they spoke about the challenge, the telephone challenge, where Sara refused to sort of let Tim look at her phone. And it's like, that should have been a red flag, a massive red flag, because what is she hiding? As I said in my previous review, is she hiding a relationship with someone, or is she hiding the fact that she's still having communication with her ex? Is she hiding that she's, saying negative things about her husband to her friends? What is it? That's what I want to know. So the fact that she tried to overtalk him as well was very off-putting, and I like the fact that the experts were actually able, John was able to call her out and tell her it's unacceptable for you sort of to bulldoze him and not give him the chance to talk and not give him the chance to say how he feels about anything. So I don't know. Do I think they should stay? They both wrote stay, but I don't think it's a good idea. I think unless Sarah's willing to change her ways, they're going to struggle. Next up is Ben and Ellie. I'd actually completely forgotten about them. I had forgotten that they are the one where the cousin really, held Ben's feet to the fire. And so they explain, obviously, that there is an issue with the fact that Ben is not sure whether he wants to have children or not. And for me, it's like, at this stage, I do agree with Lauren that you can't say if you meet the right person, you are matched with someone, do you see yourself having kids with that person? Yes or no? If no, let her know, because she is saying this is a high priority for her. If you are not interested in having children, let her know so that she can keep it moving. Don't, care about somebody else more than you care about yourself. Don't put your need for celebrity above somebody else's feelings. Be compassionate, be empathetic, and, realize that there is someone else who's involved in this mess, and they also need their feelings need to be validated. They both wrote to stay. Am I surprised? No, because of the fact that the cousin said he's there for publicity. So if that's what they want to do, that's what they're going to do, and we'll see what happens next. So next up is Lauren and Jonathan. I loved their conversations. I loved the fact that, they said they were physically intimate on night one. Jonathan seems to like him, a spicy woman. So, the fact that Lauren is all over the place and she can be loud at times and inappropriate, he seems to eat that up. So they seemed happy. They seemed to be in a very good place. And so I don't know whether that can be sustainable. Although she seemed calmer in front of the experts and wasn't making any inappropriate remarks, I think on wedding day she was trying to tempt him to see if she could sort of put him off, but he seems to have enjoyed whatever she was dishing. So I think this in itself has given her the confidence to sort of calm down and be a bit mellow, because when they were asking details about their intimacy, she sort of shut him down and sort of tried to stop him from discussing every single detail. But they both said that they did have lulls in their sort of coupling at times, and this is something they were working on. So I think everybody, including myself, was shocked to see that they're doing very well, and they've both decided to stay. Am I surprised? No. I think Jonathan likes him a bit of a spicy woman, and Laurel is that and more. So hey, to each their own. Next is Jaden and Eden. I think looking at Jaden and Eden, some people could take a page out of their books. I wish people like Jake and Tori would stop focusing on being number one and seeing how other people are navigating their relationship. I like the fact that Jaden was honest with the experts and didn't try to hide, his past. Yes, he might not have told them during the screening process, but he actually said everything that happened, expressed the reason why he did what he did, and showed remorse. And I like the fact that Eden also set boundaries for Jaden to say this and this is unacceptable. So he knows that if he ever does that, she's out the door. And she also let him know that yes, your emotions were in control of you when you said that challenge for your ex, but then are they always going to be in control every time you get upset? Are they always going to be in control of every decision that we make? And so I'm happy that he was willing to own up to his faults and also willing to listen to the advice from the experts to make the necessary changes and to acknowledge that he feels like he's been matched with the best person. So it's now up to him to do the work to sort of win her over, because at the end of the day, he is the one who's put the kink in their relationship. He has to find a way to work and move forward and sort of get away from that. So they both decided to stay, which I knew was going to happen because they're both open to learning. Is Neighbours still running? Can someone check for me, please? Because I think Collins is auditioning for Neighbours. That's my opinion, and I'm going to stick to it. Either Neighbours or Hollyoaks. Anyway, so Natalie and Collins are the next couple up. And obviously the experts are surprised to see them there, because the last time they saw them at the dinner party, Natalie was leaving. She said she couldn't take anymore. She wanted to go home. So she then somehow has gone home, has had time to think, and has decided to come back. And so they then start the conversation with Nat sort of asking them, why are the two of you still here? We thought you had left yesterday. And Natalie reveals that, she has been struggling with grief. It's because she lost her dad recently. She asked Collins if they could go in holding hands into the dinner party. And it seems Collins, as soon as they got into the dinner party, he sort of escaped and went sideways and completely forgot about her. And so this is why she was struggling. And for him to then try and use the grief against her and sort of say, I think the reason we are not able to progress is because she's grieving. And it's like, please sit down. Please sit down and keep quiet. Don't make silly excuses for your bad behavior. And for him to be asked questions and not be able to give a coherent response tells me that it's just there for the opportunities that come with being on TV. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. He's not there because he wants to be married. He's there for the opportunities. Because at first, when Natalie said she wanted to leave, he was worried that he would need to go back to work. So he, I think, doesn't see himself going back to his old job. I think he sees himself in a different sort of career path. And this is why he wants to stay on the show and will do anything and everything in order to stay. And sadly, despite the experts trying to give him advice, he always had a response. He's very defensive, and he's very sort of combative, in the sense that whatever he's told is he doesn't want to hear it as long as it doesn't align with what he wants or what his goals are in this experiment. So I wish the experts had sort of sent them home, because if Natalie is grieving, then this is not a good relationship for her at this point in time. I don't think it's good for her. I think it's just going to sort of create more sort of baggage for her to deal with once she leaves the experiment. This man doesn't seem right in his mind. He doesn't seem like he's someone who's prepared to have a lasting relationship with anyone. He's just there for the opportunity to be on TV and whatever else comes with it. Natalie decides she wants to leave. He gives this performance and then says, no, I want to stay. And obviously, as the show dictates, they have to stay. So, hey, it is what it is. Last up is Richard and Andrea. I love them. They might be the most mature couple in the villa, but they say they behave like the youngest couple in the villa, which I totally get. You can tell that they're smitten with one another. You can tell that for them, this is it. And so it's cute to see how they sort of respect one another, how they are caring towards one another, and how they continue to put each other first. Obviously, they are physically intimate, that we know they have made known. They are sort of trying their best to see how they can navigate the experiment. And I'm surprised that, given that they are one of the oldest couples, one would expect them to be sort of going against everything else and sort of trying to rebel against the advice of the experts and say we know better because we're older. But no, they've sat down, they've listened to all the advice they've received from the experts. They've made sure that they put each other first, which was evident from, their conversations about one another as a couple. So that I really liked. I liked the fact that, they say they're doing very well. They say they are happy with where they are, and, this is their person, or they feel this is their person. So they both decided to stay. Am I surprised? No. Everybody that was there would have thought the same. So it's not it's nothing new. It really is nothing new that or it's not a surprise that they've chosen to stay. They sort of were asked for advice in regards, how they're working and what advice they would give the younger generation. And they sort of said, the reason we feel we're working is because we choose one another. We choose to be in the situation. We choose to continue to getting to know one another and explore our connection. So I was happy that they both wrote yes, that made sense. And I was happy that they were able to get over their hurdle in regards, the ranking challenge. So that was cute to see. I can't wait to see what they do next. And so I'm so happy for them. I really am. And, we'll see what happens. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my reviews from previous episode 8. Bye guys.